Keep it going for Kev. Keep it going for Kev. He's fucking smashed it. Well done. Wow, we're here. We're really doing it. This is great. Like, we're having one of Carlow's most successful nights in a closed down building. Like, if that isn't a metaphor for Carlow life, I don't know what is. Like, we are good at dragging dead things. He's got it, yeah, okay. We're going to talk about it, the post office. Let's get into it, okay? Do you know what I mean? What was all that about? The boys got caught, didn't they? They got caught rotten. Huh? And their best excuse was, he was fine when he left the house. Allah, is that the best you can fucking do? Like, Jesus Christ. Like I get, like, we're supposed to believe that halfway down to the post office, there's like, lads, I'd love a piggyback. You know, it's fucking mad. Like, it's a fucking crazy story. He got to the post office and, like, apparently the woman was just like, is he okay? And you're like, fuck. Dropped him and fucked off. Like, apparently they were expecting Sherlock Holmes to be working that day. Like, I will give it to them. In terms of a master plan, it's not that bad, because it is very difficult to tell the difference between a dead guy and two junkies. Apparently what gave it away was the dead guy was the only person who didn't ask for €1 or a spare $5. No, it's an absolute fucking terrible thing to happen. You know, it shouldn't be happening in 2022. Like, who the fuck gets their pension paid into the post office nowadays? I got away with that sound. Yeah, man, I've been in New Zealand the last couple of years, so... How was COVID? Because I don't have a fucking clue, like, I have no idea. We had a bit of a lockdown, and it was a tough 2 weeks. No, I got here, I didn't understand any of the rules about COVID. Everyone was like, have you taken an antigen test? Have you taken an antigen test? I was like, oh, what the fuck is that? It's like, that's the stuff that goes up your nose. Oh, how much is that a gram? Yeah, I don't like that joke anymore because I got COVID. The worst thing is, I was on my way, I went to a gig, right, and no one was there. And I came back and I was all pissed off. I was like, I'm fucking sick of this shit. I'm going around and everyone was like going to gigs and I getting COVID. And I was like, duh, I just want to get it and get it over with. And as I said that, I went, wasn't fun. No, I was in New Zealand for COVID and, like, it was kind of good because there was parts of, like, of it I kind of enjoyed. Like, I used to walk to work every day and the city was much quieter, so I could take in much more I wouldn't have seen before. Like, I walked past this optometrist. JP, what does optometrist do? They can't see you. That was your one moment to shine! How much did you have to drink?
Just one non-alcoholic.
Oh, no, yeah. If you drink enough of it, I'm sure it changes.
Okay, one non-alcoholic and 4 Xanax.
Right, it was an optometrist. They sell glasses, right? And their advertising slogan outside it was like, as your beauty fades, so does his eyesight. As your beauty fades, so does his eyesight. These are the people trying to sell glasses. Like, that's how you walk past a dentist and they're like, oh, got no teeth? Fuck it, there's always soup. It's a weird slogan to bring people in. Like, I always think like it's an old married couple that they're talking about in that slogan. Like, because only they could have that much contempt for their partner. You know what I mean? It's like, if I'm getting wrinkles, you're going fucking blind. Smash that one. Yeah, I was in New Zealand. There's one thing I realised, property managers are cunts worldwide. Like, they're just born liars. Like, I was getting this place and said it was fully furnished, right? And I walked in, right? The bed was made out of wooden pallets, right? The bedside table, wooden pallets, right? The coffee table, wooden pallets. Like, I'm sensing a theme here. Do you know what I mean? Like, New Zealand is the only country that can live inside a house and still feel homeless. The houses are fucking mental. Like, they'll build a house that can survive an earthquake but not winter. You know, they'll test for meth but not damp. Like, it's fucking wild out there. Like, I finally settled on this apartment, right? And it was small, but it met my needs, you know, because every morning I woke up, I was like, Shannon, you should be doing better. And Everything made sense. Shout out if you've seen this before. Have you seen a washer dryer? Yes, everyone in the audience has seen it. I did that joke in Waterford on Tuesday and it fucking blew the whole crowd's mind. They're like, in the one machine in a house that you live in. Wow. Yeah, so that made sense. Now shit got a little bit weird when I got to the kitchen, right? Because inside the kitchen there was an oven combined with a dishwasher. Oven on top, dishwasher on the bottom. Now I don't know about you, but that seems illegal to me. Like, I'm a confident cook, but when my girlfriend asked, is the chicken in the oven? I'm like, 50-50 chance. And I rang the property manager, I was like, hey dude, is this fucking shit on level? He's like, yeah, Sean, don't worry about it. There will be a tradie coming around your house next week to install your toaster shower. I think he might have been fucking me. Who's fucking making noise during my set, you bastards? Is it you, Kev?
No, it's someone else.
2020 was a mad year. Did anyone have a good time then? No, it's a fucking mad year. It was a mad year. Like, who would have thought TikTok would be the second most viral thing to come out of China? Thank you. Yeah, I had a good 2020 though. I got engaged in 2020. Yeah. Somehow that wasn't the worst thing that happened that year. Yeah, I got engaged in 2020, and I found out a lot about myself when it came to like popping the question. Like, I'm not a man who does well under pressure, because I proposed in a petrol station. I didn't even need petrol. I just thought the fumes would help. Now in 2020, that was a terrible engagement story, but in 2022, that makes me sound like a fucking baller. Yeah, so the reason, like, that's a terrible engagement story. Do we all agree? Yeah, it is. It's true. It is true. Now, the reason I tell people, there's two versions, right? The real version is that the petrol station is actually the first place we met, the first place we kissed, and it was like, that's the woman I'm going to spend the rest of my life with, right? Now, you all like that version much better, yeah? Yeah, now weddings are expensive, so I tell people the first version. Because they're like, it's not going to last. I did that joke the other day in Waterford. The girl was like, in the same petrol station. I was like, no, I just drove up to a random apple green. Like, the diesel cheap here around. Guess what? Yeah, so we got engaged in a petrol station. It's pretty good. No, like, and people go, why did you meet there? And like Kev was saying earlier, we met on Tinder. And it is smart if you're meeting a stranger from the internet that you have your own mode of transport to get away, and the whole day is filmed on CCTV cameras. She's very smart. Where am I going now? Oh yeah, Kev, who was saying about? Oh yeah, it was Kev again. Kev is setting me up all night. It's great. Like, I went to the CBS here, and that was an all-boys school, and we also received very bad sexual education. Because in third year, instead of giving us any sex ed, they just showed us an abortion video. Because apparently that's the same thing. Like, it traumatized a lot of the young lads, and one of the guys came up to me afterwards and was like, Shannon, I'm never getting an abortion. And he's not the smartest lad. Like, over the summer we changed the doors from a push to a pull, and then he just never came back. I met him not too long ago, and he actually is having a baby, so he's staying true to his word. Yeah, he is, yeah. I asked him how it happened. Well, she's like, she told me to pull out, and I got confused, and I just... Fair play to him. Yeah, no, it's as the lads have been, a lot of people have been saying, it's been a weird couple of years. Like, I'm trying to get in touch with, like, know more about modern society, like pronouns, like he, him, they, them, her, she. Like, it's definitely something we should all get behind. There's just one group we shouldn't ask what their pronoun is. They don't get to have one. that's a straight dude. You ask a straight dude, what does he identify as? He'd be like, me? Bit of a legend. Most of you might know my dad, bit of a temper, and this is a new one. He used to, whenever he was in a bad mood with me, he'd like try and tell a joke at the same time. And we had lots of animals on where we lived, right? And he came in one day, like, Shannon! I was like, oh fuck, what's wrong? And I knew I did something wrong because he started with a joke. He said, why did a chicken cross the road? And I was like, I don't know. Because you left the fucking gate open! How many times do I have to tell you? I'm only messing. He never told the joke. Sorry, so I'm a bit different than most comedians. I have a podcast. That joke is just for the comedians. I'm a bit, and like a very loyal listenership. My mother listens to like every single episode, right? Which is great, but it also gets me into some like difficult situations because I had a friend of mine on, right? And she's a very sex-positive poet, so we got into it, like talking about orgies and orgasms and this and it was a fucking amazing conversation, but at the same time, I was like, my mother is listening. It is. And she was. And she loved the episode. and my Kate, she's an author, she's written a couple of books, and my mother's like, has Kate written any books? Yeah. And I'm a good son, so for my mother's 65th birthday, I bought her a book called Squirt. And Kate, being the amazing human being she is, she wrote a note to my mother, and the note read, I hope all your orgasms are explosive. Now, my first mistake was reading the note. My second mistake was sending it back to Ireland, right? But the third mistake was accepting the phone call from my mother going, Shannon, I absolutely love that book. My dad was also on the call. It's a grand book, son. Have you read it? No. So that got me thinking, like, when is a good time for your parents to die? No, like seriously, like, you don't want your parents to die when you're a kid. They're fucking heroes, right? When you're a teenager, you don't want them around, but you can't cook. Like, and me, I'm in my 30s now, and honestly, I could just do with a house. Alright, I've been Shannon Mazagal, you've been absolutely brilliant. Thank you very much. Give it up for Dave one more time.